What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about my biggest realization as a DJ. Let's get into it. Boom. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott King. I run a business here in Orlando, Florida called King Entertainment Events, DJsorlando.com, and I've been able to grow my business since 2020 to six figures and beyond, and it just keeps growing. So with that in mind, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my biggest realization as a DJ. So we'll talk a little bit about the history, right? How my limiting belief was formed. So back in the day, before technology is what it is today, the DJ would have to go and get records and have gear and be the one with all the music. So when talent agencies would call, they would know that you're the guy with the music because not everybody could get it as easily as you can today. So my goal was to just outwork the music selection, right? So I would go and travel hours to get records for the next week. And, I was the guy with the music, so I was able to get the gig. So I was always grinding. So when technology came around, it kind of like changed the whole game. It like flipped it upside down. And my biggest realization was that I was working for these other talent agencies, and the music didn't become as big as a factor. Like other things became a factor. Like if I was working for a talent agency and there were somebody younger, you would think that because you were with a talent agency longer that you would get a raise, right? Or more money or some sort of security that you would get more gigs. So what I did was I trained a bunch of DJs thinking that I was safe inside that company. And it turned out that all I was doing was building somebody else's company, and then they had the power to give the gigs to whoever they want. And then it was flipped on me, and I was told that I wasn't a team player. So with all that in mind, I kind of hit like a mental block and didn't know what to do. So my biggest realization was that I can't outgrow the person hiring me, right? So their company can get as big as it can. So basically, I can't outgrow somebody else's growth. And then it was an equation that I had in my head, right? I wanted to work harder equals more money. And then I saw this video by Dean Graziosi where it was like, you can work hard and be a mechanic, and it doesn't mean you're going to get any more money because you're selling time for money. So that was a huge realization to me. And then it was like, well, what can I do in my situation to make the work harder, make more money, make more sense? So working smarter, right? How do I fit in working smarter? Because I won't be able to grow somebody else's company. Even when I started learning about marketing and how to be my own company, I would bring these ideas to the talent agency that I was working for, and I was told all these things that weren't right or it wasn't going to work out. And then it just became an uphill battle for anything that I wanted to, put into play. I would have to, clear it with somebody else. And that person didn't even believe in the things that I wanted to accomplish. So it was best for me to break off because that talent agency was still under the assumption that I was going to keep working for less money because it was more profitable for the company to pay me less, or it was easier for the company or more profitable for the company to hire somebody younger that would take less money and be more excited about the gigs that were there, and not even take into the account of my years put in. So with that in mind, I gave it a hard look, right? Like I was really inspired by a bunch of marketers, and they were saying that it's easier to market to groups of people that are already looking for your services. So instead of like, the club route, right? You'd have to go to club promoter, or go to the club itself and talk to the owner and try and get those gigs and just tell them that, you're going to bring a bunch of people with you if they hire you, right? And that'll help their sales. Well, what security does that give you as a DJ, right? If they don't show up, if you have a bad night, who are they going to blame, right? They're going to blame you. So the club gigs don't even pay as much as like a wedding. So if you start to factor in all these things, like if you did some marketing towards people that were already engaged and they're already looking for your services, it makes more sense to go the mobile route because engaged couples are looking to pay more for those services. Okay, so that becomes the game versus like I'm working for somebody else, doing all these favors, hoping to be on, a talent agent's good side, and then not being able to control the outcome after that, because it's still in the decision making is still in the owner of the company. And even if you were given false pretenses like, oh, if you do this, I'll, keep you under my wing or something like that. And that's how I lived for like 20 years. And it worked out until I reached a breaking point. So the breaking point happened right before 2020. I had just paid off all my school loans, and I decided I was going to have a child. And then, right before 2020 hit, I got all this information that I, was trying to be put back on me, right? So it's like, oh yeah, you're not being a team player. You're ungrateful for all the work that you've given me, and I'm over here like, I've trained your whole team. They've even lived with me. So what are you even talking about? So I had to make the hard cut to get away from a situation that wasn't working for me, and then go and rebuild a new life that was going to be, if you put in your time, you want to see your plants grow. And then they weren't growing in the old situation. And then I was like, well, I just got to figure it out to become my own person. But anyway, hopefully this information is useful to you, and you could start to plan out what your next 5 years are going to look like. And if you're under the same belief that I had, don't expect somebody else to be able to put you in a place that you want to be. You put yourself there. Guys, you're amazing. Hope this information was helpful. Drop a comment, join the Facebook group, www.coachscottking.com.